I sat alone in the dim living room, the only glow coming from a small lamp tucked into the corner. The silence pressed heavier than usual, an emptiness that felt almost deliberate. Everything was ready. My luggage was already in the car, the moving truck packed and waiting. All that remained was to leave the house key on the table. And yet, I lingered. Not for love. Not for reconciliation. I stayed because I wanted to witness her expression the moment she realized I was truly finished. For the past year, our marriage had felt like wandering through a fog I couldn't escape. Emily wasn't the woman I'd married. Her warmth, her laughter, the spark in her eyes had faded into something hollow. Her smiles felt practiced, her embraces stiff, her attention elsewhere. Conversations with me were distracted, cut short, while her phone never left her hand as if it offered a world better than the life we had built together. The signs crept in slowly, late nights stretching into dawn, business dinners that lasted far longer than they should have, the way she avoided my eyes when walking through the door, carrying the faint trace of someone else's cologne. But the moment I knew she no longer belonged to me came 3 weeks ago. I had come home early. Her car wasn't in the driveway, but the front door stood unlocked. Inside, upstairs, laughter drifted from our bedroom. I crept closer, uneasy, and heard her voice, soft, playful, intimate, followed by a man's chuckle. My chest collapsed. I didn't need to open the door. I turned around and walked out. I didn't confront her. Not then. Instead, I became a shadow in my own home. I watched. I listened. I gathered proof. I checked her laptop when she forgot to close it, tracked her location, pieced together the lies she dressed as work. Her dinners weren't with clients. They were with her boss, Grant. Mid-40s, divorced, polished in that insincere, charming way. I noticed how she lit up before seeing him and how she came back colder each time. One night, I read a text she had sent him. "Wish you were the one I came home to." That was the moment something inside me snapped. But I didn't explode. I didn't even shed a tear. I simply began removing myself from her life, piece by piece. The next morning, I sat in a lawyer's office and filed for divorce. Quietly, methodically, I collected documents, bank statements, insurance, investments. I shifted what was legally mine into my own account. I stripped the walls of photos, sold off furniture and electronics she never cared about, even pawned jewelry I'd once given her. Half our clothes went to a shelter. She didn't notice. She was too absorbed in her new double life. I timed everything perfectly. She had plans with Grant at a trendy new Italian restaurant downtown. The night before, she smirked and said, "Don't wait up, it'll be late." I smiled and replied, "Take your time." That very day, I cleared the house. Room by room, I removed every trace of me. My books, my clothes, the framed Paris photo, the guitar she once claimed to love but hadn't mentioned in a year. Even Milo, our dog, came with me. She hadn't taken him for a walk in months. I cancelled my name on the lease, redirected my mail, changed my number. All that remained was the key on the table beside the divorce papers and a pen. While I sat in the dark waiting, my phone buzzed. A message from Emily. "Dinner's going great. Miss you, Red Art." I stared at the screen until the words blurred, then placed the phone face down. Moments later, headlights swept across the window. Her car door shut, followed by the click of heels across the porch. The door opened. Wine and betrayal drifted in with her. "Babe," she called, flicking on the light. The smile on her face shattered as her eyes swept over the hollowed-out room. No furniture. No clutter. No sign of me. Her voice cracked. "Jason." She stepped forward, looking around as though she'd walked into a stranger's home. That's when she noticed me standing in the middle of the bare room. Her eyes widened. What's happening? Where's all your stuff? Are we moving?" I tilted my head toward the table. She followed my gaze, picked up the papers, her hand trembling as she read the headline. Her skin drained of color. "You're divorcing me." Finally, I spoke. "You already left me, Emily." I'm just making it official. Her eyes filled with tears. Jason. Wait. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to get caught, I cut in coldly. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. I turned for the door, and she scrambled after me. Please, we can talk about this. I was confused. I looked at her one last time. No. You were selfish. And I was blind. That ends tonight. Her panic grew as her gaze swept the barren house. Where's Milo? With me, I answered firmly. He deserves better too. Her legs gave out, and she crumpled to the floor, clutching the papers. I opened the door. You don't get to break something and cry when it's gone, I said, stepping outside. I didn't turn back. Not when she called my name. Not when her sobs echoed across the porch. Not when she screamed into the night. I slid into my car, Milo curling up in the back seat, and drove off. Behind me, that house held nothing. No love. No trust. Not even rage. Only silence. Finally, mercifully, silence. And for the first time in a long while, that was enough.